welcome to Astrobabble. I'm Donna from Donna B Astrology.
And I'm Lynda from Scullywag Astrology.
And today we are going to be talking about the new moon in Aquarius.
Yes.
Congratulations, Lynda, on 1 year. We did our first video was 1 year in Aquarius. You brought that up earlier, so
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah. And I believe this is the year of the rabbit, I think, this year for those that celebrate the Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
I don't know much
The
about
water rabbit.
Is it a water rabbit?
The water rabbit.
And it was what, a fire fox? No, firefox. A fire ox last year, or was it a water ox?
It was a tiger. It was, I think,
was it
that
a
was
tiger? I thought it was an ox.
It's a tiger. Anyways, yeah. So, did we want to talk about the lunar mansions?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. It's strange energy, isn't it? Mercury's getting ready to station direct soon, but not soon enough, apparently.
It is.
Okay.
It is. And then we still have to go through all that shadow period anyways. All the planets will be in a shadow period at one point, even though it all looks straight and all righty. The moon mansion is the 24th mansion. It is a really long name. I don't even want to enunciate it because I don't want to get it wrong. But it is called the luckiest of the lucky. So should be good.
Nice.
It's good for healing. It's good for sending soldiers and armies. It's good for travel, is good, but it is not good for selling your wares or jewelry, or not good for buying new clothes. It's not good for marriage. It's not good for boarding ships, and it's not good for association. So people that you meet, it might be a better time to meet next time to form an association if you're going to do a project. So
Interesting.
but it's the luckiest of the lucky.
And I know the last couple of moon mansions we've done, you've mentioned that what kind of qualities the moon mansion is, like 2 planets. Does this one have 2 planets?
Oh, because it is Saturn, and it has the nature of Saturn and Jupiter.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm thinking firm boundaries, but big.
Yeah. And there's the luckiest of the lucky with the Jupiter.
Well, they're both, one's the greater benefic and one's the greater malefic. So
yeah.
Hopefully you've been listening to them all your life and they're smiling on you.
Yeah, that's a theory. You're talking
That's my story and I'm sticking to
it. You're talking to a Saturn and Aries here, so yeah. So this new moon will be at 1 degree and 32 minutes of Aquarius. So it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is currently in Aquarius, same house. So it's there to lend assistance, and we've got Venus very, very close to that Saturn, kind of, adding a bit of sweetness there.
Definitely seems benefic.
Yeah. Just looking at that Venus and also Saturn, they're both out from under the beams, so that's something. They're not too close to the sun that they're overshadowed. Oh, a
very
sextile
nice
to Jupiter as well.
Yeah, the planet that's the other partner for that moon mansion.
Yeah, interesting.
Very cool.
Well, shall we have a look at the horoscopes for them?
That sounds great.
We're going to go through the horoscopes for each of the signs for this new moon. New moons tend to be about new beginnings, setting new intentions, and we recommend that you read your ascendant horoscope rather than your sun or moon sign. You can read or listen to your sun or moon sign, but we've done a video that explains why listening to your ascendant sign horoscope makes more sense, and I'll put a link to that.
Very nice. So if you're an Aquarius rising, this is going to happen in your first house. And this house is the house where you are trying the new things for yourself. It looks like Mars is going to offer you drive to do that from your fifth house. So your creativity house might influence a little bit of that drive. For the new moon is going to be happening in the first house. And that's what you want to really concentrate. A new hairstyle, updating your wardrobe, just trying new things that would benefit just you personally, because that's what that's what you're working on. If you're an Aquarius rising, this is where you're revamping your new year.
Yeah, yeah. And if you are a Capricorn ascendant, this new moon is happening in your second house. The second house is associated with your income, your finances, and your resources. So there could be new beginnings regarding income or finances. You've got Venus there. Venus does tend to kind of bring gifts sometimes. So maybe, you've had a little bit of a windfall or a bonus. It's right there conjunct that Saturn. So maybe instead of blowing that all on something frivolous, maybe you're going to, sock that away in a savings account or in something that will actually help grow that. And with that Jupiter making it's, a good 3 degrees, but it's making a sextile to the new moon, this would be a good opportunity to make that grow if possible.
Very nice. Gotta love that if you're a Capricorn. If you're a Sagittarius, this is going to happen in your third house. And this is the house of community. It's also the house of siblings, extended family as well. Could be even early education. So you could start things in those types of things would be a good time to start something, whether it was even now or this is for it, and it has to do with short distance transportation as well. So if you're a Sagittarius rising, your car might be what you're thinking about.
Yeah. And if you are a Scorpio rising, this new moon is happening in your fourth house. And the fourth house is your parents, your home, your living situation, it's your heritage, and it's also real estate matters. So there might be new beginnings regarding one of these matters. For example, if you're moving into a new place or you've just bought a new place, you've got that Venus there, the good luck, and you've got that Saturn there, though. Like, now it's time you've got to pay this mortgage. I mean, obviously, if you've been renting, you've had to pay rent. But yeah, it's just interesting with that Venus Saturn there because it's going to be exact, that Venus Saturn the next day. And even though it's not super close to that new moon, it's in the same house. So I think that's going to it's just interesting. You kind of got the sweet and the sour. It's like sweet with Venus and then kind of like there's a need for responsibility with Saturn. So yeah, so something new regarding one of those matters, or it could be something that your parents are embarking on, some new kind of adventure or new beginning of some type for your parents.
Very nice. And if you are a Libra, this new moon's going to happen in your house of creativity, the fifth house. And that is creativity. It's your children. It's whatever you create. This could also be what you do for enjoyment, like a dance hall, roller skating, sports events as well. So this might be something that you're either you're taking up joining a team or just being creative. Yeah.
Very nice. And if you are a Virgo ascendant, this new moon is happening in your sixth house. Sixth house is a little bit more difficult. It does tend to be associated mainly with illness, but it also includes pets, those that work for you, sometimes, those that you work with, so co-workers. And it's kind of daily routines and that as well. So new beginnings, new starts, maybe, it could be some health issue coming to the fore at this time. It also relates to service to others. So for people that are in jobs such as doctors, nurses, police officers, fire people or fire persons, maybe you're entering the academy or beginning studies at this time. Or it could be a new pet, could be a new dog, new cat, something similar.
Very nice. New stuff at the beginning of the year. So If you are a Leo, speaking of new stuff, if you are a Leo, this could be new things that are happening with your significant other, your partner, your could be a business partner, but it's somebody who you have a connected relationship with. So this will be new beginnings. If you are a Leo rising, this will be new beginnings in the seventh house. And that is the house of your relationships with your committed partners. Not that you're like, it's committed partners, whether it's a hairstylist, a doctor, but somebody who you have a one-on-one type of relationship with.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
this would be a good time to start those
I really like that.
or new things with them.
I really like that Venus Saturn in there with this whole new beginnings in like your closest one-on-one relationships. So yeah, nice, stable relationship. So yeah. And if you are a Cancer ascendant, this new moon is happening in your eighth house. And the eighth house is topics such as other people's money. So this might be joint or shared finances or resources. It might be debts, loans, taxes, insurance, inheritances. So yeah, so new beginnings regarding these topics. You might be applying for a loan, or you might be merging your finances with a partner, whether that's a business partner, romantic partner. You might be maybe just you've come into an inheritance and this is the beginning of the process, because usually there's a certain amount of time you need to wait in that. So yeah.
Now it's time to start things.
Mm.
Get the money moving. Yeah. And if you're a Gemini, this is going to be happening in your ninth house. And the ninth house is everything to do with publishing and the law, as well as foreigners. So we could be thinking about people from other countries, as well as higher learning and higher education. Philosophy, the esoteric subjects. You might be wanting to start something new with these types of things.
And if you are a Taurus ascendant, this new moon is happening in your 10th house. This is all to do with your career and public reputation. It includes things such as honors and rewards. It's a very visible house. So you've got Venus here. So people like you, they find you easy enough to get along with. But you got that Saturn there, which is hardworking. It's in its own sign. Yeah, you might be starting a new project at work, or you might be starting on something that will bring you some sort of reward or recognition somehow in the greater community.
I like that, trying to Mars with that.
That would be nice, actually. Yeah, yeah. And the sextile to Jupiter in the 12th, though. I'm not sure how I feel about Jupiter in the 12th, but expanding behind the scenes, perhaps.
Oh, maybe. I think that was a message. Yeah. And then if you're an Aries, this is going to be happening in your 11th house. This is the house of hopes and dreams. So you're going to be starting new things of your, starting your hopes and dreams, a new avenue or a new pathway. So that'll be exciting. It's your hopes and dreams. It's also the people that in your life that support you. So it's your friends and acquaintances as well. So
Yeah,
you might meet a new person, and that person might become very valuable in getting you to progress on your path.
yeah. I'm just looking at that
Very cool.
Jupiter in the first too. It might kind of open your world up a little bit too. So expansion.
Right. It with the square to Mercury, a conversation should be very action oriented.
Interesting. Interesting.
Very nice. You can see where these things are coming from.
And if you are a Pisces ascendant, this new moon is happening in your 12th house. 12th house is another one of the difficult houses. This is to do with hidden and secret matters. It's also places of confinement like hospitals, prisons, rehab, monasteries. Actually, you mentioned one a couple of weeks back, academies, which is really interesting, but kind of away from familiar spaces and that. used to be the place of exile in the old days. So yeah, new moon, new beginnings. So yeah, you may be dealing with issues to do with this, or you may be starting something just behind the scenes because it's a hidden place. You've got Saturn there for the hard work. You've got the Venus to bring some sort of creativity or harmony with that Saturn. I always just think Sweden, even though Venus is oily. But yeah, it just takes
Venus
some
is
of the
also
edge off
sweet.
of that Saturn. Yeah. But yeah, with the trine to Mars in the fourth, and then yeah, with that Jupiter in the second, that could be quite interesting because it's making a sextile to that new moon. So maybe going away, secluding yourself, working behind the scenes, it might actually pay off financially too, which would be nice.
Very nice. Yeah. I like those aspects.
Yeah. And Donna, do you have a stone for us?
I do. I do. I do. I had an aunt who passed away recently. So this stone is called Angelite. And this is the color of it. It's a very soft blue,
It
which
is,
is
yeah.
wonderful. A wonderful color. This is meant to help with the third eye, the sixth, the fifth chakra, the throat, the sixth, and then the seventh. So this helps with communication. This is a smaller one. This is one that is a rough stone. It's not polished at all. So it's got the matrix right there. And that's the inside of it.
It's pretty.
It is resonates with the element wind. So this is great for Aquarius because that's an air sign. Um, this is what happens to an angelite when you leave it in water. So it's got a Mohs hardness of a 2.5, I think, or 3.5. Yeah.
So has it absorbed
Yeah,
the water?
kind of. It's kind of like an oxidized it. So if I bet you
Oh,
if I were to shine it, if I were to like put it on jeans and probably I could get a shine to it,
hmm,
that little spot.
wow.
Um, it just has to be repolished is what happens. But it's actually a blue antihydrate, and it's found in Peru. It's a orthorhombic crystal system, and it's for protection, communication. It communicates with the angelic realm. It's good for dream recall,
Hmm.
and it's called Angelite.
Nice.
So
So LITE or
Liteangelite. Yeah.
hmm, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
We're just whizzing through this tonight.
So we are, we are,
I,
but
I say that now, and now we're going to be forever on the aspects.
never going to be a long time. But yeah, that's Angelite. It's great stone.
So the first aspect we have after the new moon is Venus conjunct Saturn the next day. So that would be interesting. We've got the moon moving up closer to it at that point too. So Venus Saturn, I kind of like it. I mean, I'm not a big Saturn person. Saturn's my malefic contributor sect. It's my most difficult planet. But I do like Venus Saturn. It kind of brings stability in relationships, or it can be burdensome. It can be like obligations and duties and all that sort of thing too.
If Venus is going to try to aspect Saturn well, do it while Saturn is already feeling good in, its
Yeah,
own rulership. So when Venus moves through there, it's gonna give a positive
yeah,
benefit. I like it. Even though it has, like you said, a lot to do with, that family obligation to elders. You know, it's it is a wholesome, warm kind of an aspect when you have that
Yeah.
that desire to, help elderly people and
When you
so
get your Venus Mars aspects, they can be quite sexy, but this one I don't think of as being sexy. It's comfortable, like Venus Mars are kind of like the stiletto, this is the house slipper, it's comfortable. It's not sexy, but it's comfortable. And there's, also with Venus Saturn, you can often get that big differences in age. So maybe if you are in a, place to be dating, or if you're looking to meet somebody new, maybe there will be a little bit of an age difference, either older or younger than you.
very nice. That's true. That could be. Yep. And so the next aspect is Uranus is moving direct. This will be the last planet out of the gate that's moving with all the other planets in a forward position, because everybody now will be starting to move in a forward position, other than the nodes, which kind of flip back and forth all the time. But all the planets will be going forward. So, you can look for shocking things, revolutionary ideas, leveling up kind of things. It would have to do with the more tangible things being in Taurus. So,
yeah.
And
if you've got planets at, around about the middle degree, so say from 12, 13 to 15, 16 degrees of Taurus, but also Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, you might be feeling this shift a little bit more, because it'll either be conjunct, opposite, or square that Uranus. So
thanks for the heads up. I have a 15-degree Mars in Leo.
We'll have to hear back next time on what happened.
Yeah, I'll have to journal.
Exactly.
But it'll be nice to have all the planets moving direct.
Oh, it will be, yeah.
And then so the next aspect that we have is the sun is going to be sextiling Jupiter. And a sextile is always nice. It's a nice aspect. It means good things, and especially with Jupiter is the greater benefic. So the sun's kind of going to give that energy to Jupiter. It's going to give not really drive, but it's going to give the energy. It's going to give the highlight. It's going to help Jupiter to shine.
Yeah, this should be a good day, generally speaking. And you can't know what's going on in everybody's charts, but sun sextile Jupiter, you're feeling optimistic, enthusiastic. Yeah, you're just feeling positive, thinking about expanding or moving forward. Yeah, or you might find yourself more interested in topics such as philosophy or religion or law, topics like that. But yeah, generally just an upbeat time, which is always nice. And another nice change for planets.
Absolutely.
Got,
Venus moving into Pisces this is where she's exalted. So she gets her strength back from being close to Saturn and feeling that constraint. And this will be very, very nice when she is in Pisces. So when she gets into Pisces on the 26th, right? It's the 26th, right?
Yeah, 26. Yep.
Yeah. She'll be there, and she's exalted in that sign. So she might get things that are just given because she's just there. It might not have anything to do with that you earned something. Although it could be, but it's you get that a step up, a little higher recognition in that exalted space of Venus.
Topics like relationships, affections, cooperating with others, harmony, beauty, art, they're just so much more easier to kind of flow with Venus in Pisces. And with Pisces, wherever Pisces is in your natal chart, topics or people associated with that sign might be, generally easier to get along with. Maybe, you just feel more affectionate, or you may actually benefit in some way through a gift or assistance.
I love Neptune in that sign as well. It's gonna
Yeah.
that might offer a little bit of intuition, that because Venus can get into, what other people want, that,
Mm.
this might help.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Thinking, I reckon about 3 weeks or so it'll take her. Depends how fast she's going. How far? Oh, she's moving pretty fast, 126%. So maybe
25%,
2.5
yeah.
weeks or something. Yeah. I mean, she's
Yeah, but
co-present.
co-present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, once she gets within about 2 or 3 degrees, we'll really start to feel that, which will be quite nice. But could be a little bit confusing for relationships. It'll be interesting to see. Actually, shall we have a sneak peek and see what happens?
Sure.
I'm wondering what other aspects will be happening at that time. So, yeah, it looks like around about just under 3 weeks. 15th of Feb. Oh, interesting. For Valentine's Day. That will be very nice.
Oh, and it's
Be
going to be
coming.
squaring the moon.
Oh, well, the moon will move quick though. So that's not
I
too
know,
bad.
but still.
That's not too bad. That's going to be really romantic Valentine's Day for a
Well,
lot of
say with the
people.
moon, I like that.
Very nice. And
Sagittarius
mind you,
moon, so
we'll have the sun conjunct Saturn at the same time. So we'll take that back a day to actually Valentine's Day. Yeah, work might get in the way, but maybe you're just going to kind of do what needs to be done, and then you've got the night. Because I do like that Venus Neptune for Valentine's Day.
yes, that will be very, very interesting to see.
Very nice. But
An
back to
experience. I
reality.
mean, we get to have a sneak peek at what the energy is going to be, but how it manifests, boots on the ground is can be different from what we see. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see the detail of, we can see an aspect, but then when you actually get to being in the space of it, it can be more detailed, but it's like, oh well, that's where that came from, or that's how, when we were talking about philosophy and
Mm,
you know a conversation comes up, and then you know where it comes from, so it's kind of cool.
yeah.
um
Well, see, this is the thing too. I mean, like, we can look at these aspects, and these are just very, very general overviews. I mean, it will depend on everybody's individual chart, how it's interacting with their chart, but also, like, the planets all have their good and their not so good qualities. So it's like, how is it going to interact? What houses are they in? So
yeah,
it's yeah, and even knowing all that, sometimes it's like, well, how is it going to go? Particularly when it's a conjunction, because you've got that blending of energies, but it's like, yes. But yeah,
very
Venus Neptune
interesting.
will be interesting. I
Yeah.
think madly romantic, yeah. Nice time.
And then the next aspect is going to be the sun is going to trine Mars.
Mm.
And this is going to give energy for drive.
Yeah, I think this is, you kind of, it's kind of like, yep, I want to do this, and you just do it. There's kind of, you got the energy
Time for
there.
action.
Mars is direct after all this time, thankfully. It's finally off 8 degrees of Gemini. Yeah, it's thought and action working together. Well, not so much thought, but the sun does include our intellect in that. But yeah, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. That
The
it's
something of your convictions, the power, the something of your convictions. I can't think what the expression is.
power of your convictions.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like doing this, I'm going to do this, and you do it. Yeah, I like it.
Very straightforward type of aspect. And with the trine, it's going to make it easier to do that. It's going to flow. It's going to help
Yeah.
the energy. And hopefully it's drive. Mars is representing drive and not aggression. So,
Mm,
because that could be the other side. We have free will.
mm.
Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's drive and not aggression. That's
Yeah.
that's being able to flow very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. This Mars isn't terribly strong, but he is at least not retrograde now, so he can at least move forward. So that's something. That sun's not really strong either. It's in detriment. Yeah. Just means they think differently, act differently. That's all.
Right.
Nothing wrong with having a planet in fall or detriment. You just kind of need to figure out your workarounds.
Exactly. Exactly. Not as strong as it could be, which
Yeah.
can be good, depending on, the actions behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the other aspect on that same day is going to be Mercury is going to trine Uranus.
I really like this. This is brilliant ideas. This is innovative ideas.
Yes.
Just eureka moments. Just, yeah, I really like it. And I like that it's with this Sun trine Mars as well. It's like you've had this great idea and then you just go out and do it. So yeah, a lot of good ideas acted on at this time, hopefully. Oh, look at that that north node's not super close to that Uranus, but amping it up a little bit.
Just a little bit. And
Mm.
Uranus is known for technology and revolutionary ideas. So it's with the Mercury trine to it, it's good for good ideas, but it could also be, fast, shocking things as well.
Yeah, for some people this might be quite a little unnerving, even though it is a trine. It is that outer planet, so like when you go to sleep and you can't turn your brain off and it's just going crazy, not because you're worried or got anxiety or whatever, just kind of like, oh my God, I could do this, could do that. Oh my God, and it's like switch off. So, or just jangled nerves, too much going on, you just might need to sit. So,
And then on February 3rd, we are going to have the sun squaring Uranus.
mm,
So Uranus has just recently gone direct. Now it's going to get the energy of the sun in a square. So that leads, a square is equal to tension and tension is equal to action. So just following that logic there. Yeah, the Uranus as an outer planet, it can be malefic. People do say, but it can also be just shocking, can be revolutionary, it can be that one step up. So it's definitely a day to watch for sure, I'm thinking.
yeah, this is discomfort, I think, or like you said, tension with changes. Maybe you had plans and they've been altered at the last minute and you're already halfway to wherever you needed to go and suddenly you've got to turn around and do something else, or you had your route all planned out and then there's detours or road closures or whatever. For whatever reason, you kind of feel like it's that surprise element, but not necessarily a nice surprise, more an irksome surprise. But it might be what's needed to help you change, because as Donna said, squares can be really good for promoting change. And sometimes if we're too comfortable doing what we're used to, we need a square or an opposition to kind of prod us into doing something different. So maybe this will lead to changing something. And Uranus is newly direct, like Donna said. So yeah, but I think this is just issues cropping up, just kind of sudden, could be shocking, but yeah, just discomfort. Discomfort with the new and
But
unusual.
you need that uncomfortableness to get you out of the chair that you're in,
Exactly.
to get you to move. So it'll be interesting for sure. Absolutely. That's the second time I've said it. So this would be a very interesting month, I'm thinking. Even though there's not a lot of aspects. There's
Yeah, they all kind of seem to kind of like you have one this day and then the next day there's something that kind of works well with it, and then yeah, it's just interesting.
And so the following day on the 4th, Venus is going to square Mars. And that unequivocally is an aspect that it belongs together. It for sure is screaming that it's uncomfortable. Venus does have the upper hand. She's in she's in her exaltation sign. So she'll definitely have more agency in the matter. But it's a square, and that causes tension. It causes movement. And this is the one of our friends called it as the constellation pair. Maureen, I think she was on earlier on another episode. But yeah, she calls it the constellation pair. So this is
Yeah.
it's dynamic. One's all about love and inclusion, and the other one is about anger and separation. But you have those two polar opposite energies kind of dancing, together in the sky, and how it's going to manifest is very intriguing, because it really is going to depend on the houses that you're in. But that tension, like Lynda was saying earlier, is going to cause some action.
Yeah, well, they're the archetypal pair. And Venus is, love and values and relationships, and Mars is courage, and so I always think of Venus as being like the romance, and Mars as being the actual sex. So they go together. But you can't see this, but Donna's covering her ears. But it's true. But Mars is also libido. So yeah, this is just sexual tension for a lot of people. But as Donna says, it will depend on what houses it's in your chart. It will depend on, if it's making aspects to other planets in your chart. But yeah, this is kind of like, sexual tension. Venus is in the superior position. She's earlier in the zodiacal order. She's in much better condition because she's exalted. So yeah, she's got the upper hand here. She gets to call the shots. So yeah, very nice, I think.
Yeah, she's extremely powerful because of the
Yeah, she's in that
of the earlier order that she's in. But yeah, this is it should be interesting for sure. And with all the other, the Sun and Saturn are together, Pluto and Mercury are together. I'm just looking at the other houses where the where the planets are kind of setting up, and it should be very interesting.
yeah,
Moving us forward in our path, because this is the energy that gets us to get up and move.
yeah. And that's the last of the aspects. The next big one will be the full moon in Leo, which will be on the 5th of February. And that will be at 16 degrees of Leo. So
Very nice.
Saturn with the sun. So opposite, but not really close. It's a good 10 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be aspecting too much.
No.
Ooh. Uranus is
squaring, yeah. You spoke too soon. Surprise.
Uranus will be squaring that full moon.
That will be interesting.
And it should be shocking.
In a good way, I hope.
Or it can be.
Surprising. We'll go with surprising. Not too shocking, I hope.
We're not going to take any other word. We just want surprising.
Yeah, so
but yeah, it should be
5th of Feb. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks to talk about that. So,
It sounds wonderful. And Lynda, what are you doing, and where can people get a hold of you?
I'm doing year ahead horoscopes, natal horoscopes, and relationship horoscopes. or readings, I should say. And I'm at Scullywag Astrology. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and all sorts of places. And Donna, what are you doing and where can people find you?
I am at donnabastrology.com. You can get my contact information there. I do natal readings. I do year ahead readings. I do horary and electional, as well as work with crystals. So in energy healing. So
Hmm.
that's how you can get a hold of me, is on my website.
So thank you for listening. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we've done some year ahead for some of the signs. We've recorded them all. I'm getting around to getting them all edited and up there. So check out your year ahead horoscopes. It is on the YouTube channel and it will be on the podcast. Yeah, and they are on Facebook, but not on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, actually, I think I've saved them in the stories archive on Instagram, so you can check there too if you need to. Yeah, so thank you.
Wonderful. And you're doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, and see you in a next fortnight.
Yes. She really likes that word. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.